open. They should have used it. They should not have gone public. And I think it's great only because you cannot let the inmates run the asylum. They're not going to let it do in Toronto. And again, they're very much like the Orioles. You're at a very tough decision. And for them, of course, are we going to try to spend, we're the Red Sox, nobody spends with the Yankees, or we're going to maybe go the other way. So it'll be very interesting. But Cito knows what he's doing. And to me, that's a good thing for the Blue Jays.
And they made it clear Cito is under contract and will be back. In the new era for the Orioles, well, has it already started? Probably. Listen to Dave Tremblay today.
My tolerance when I managed the minor league was probably next to nil. And here you kind of you give them a lot of credit. I think you're going to have to earn that credit now. There's some guys that if they want to pitch here next year for me, I would say the first thing they better do is go get their ass in shape this winter. Because if they don't, they have no chance. And you could figure it out who they are. I know who they are. And I already talked to two of them last night. They know who they are.
Well, two things. Get your players to play up to their capabilities and hope that Andy MacPhail gets you some better players. And as far as being in shape, why now? Should have happened but at least you'll learn the lesson, and hopefully they better. That's what Dempsey said for years. Get them in shape and take your chances.
All right, that's Dave Tremblay today as the new era begins for both of these ball clubs. But we've got game number 2 coming up when we come back. Orioles Baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by Corona. Kick back and relax with a nice cold Corona and lime. Relax responsibly.
Take a look at our PNC scouting report for the 35-year-old left-hander. As Rick Dempsey talked about early in the pregame, great in September and October. A 10-6 lifetime, last 2 starts, great, but no wins because the bullpen did not get the job done. And after 13 runs last night, how about score some runs for me tonight? I'll tell you what, the only thing you look at, Jerry, I mean, pitched very well in Toronto. I mean, it was a masterpiece. A couple of runs, 68 pitches. Did give up 2 home runs and then gave up some early home runs against Tampa Bay. 3 of them, but that was the only runs that they scored. So again, he's really pitching probably as well as he's pitched all year long.
Amazing what the difference has been for Mark compared to what he did in the bullpen, comparing it to what he has done as a starter. I mean, you would think it's an entirely different pitcher, as the bullpen numbers were way up, almost an 8 ERA. He struggled to get past even an inning's worth of work and to get 3 outs, and then moved into the starting rotation and struggled at the beginning of it, but over the last 3 has been that much better. So he's really gotten the job done and has filled in, more than just filled in for the Orioles.
Yeah, and I think he feels good. He had some back problems. He is 6'9", one of the taller players. In fact, his last start in Tampa Bay was Randy Neiman. Excuse me, Jeff Neiman. So here, let's take a look at how he holds his pitches. And 2-seam fastball, he'll throw that a lot with a changeup to go with it. There's the 4-seamer. The velocity is going to be anywhere about 87 to 90 miles per hour. The curveball, which he has really used well in both Toronto. The cutter that gets in on the righties. And then the changeup. There it is. Kind of like a circle changeup. Again, with the fingers right on the seams.
So we are ready to go as the Orioles will try and keep their offense moving as they did last night, coming away with a 13-7 win. And the first pitch will be taken away. Bautista, who has been red hot. He's got a 7-game hit streak. He extended it last night with a 1-for-4. That hit was a home run. And the pitch is taken for a strike. 73 degrees at game time. Virtually no breeze. And some high clouds that had drifted by have done just that. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And the pitch will be taken for its strike. Have to tell you, Minnesota beat Kansas City 5-4. If you missed it today, the Detroit Tigers don't play until tonight. Can you believe this? Minnesota won. They're a half game behind, depending on the outcome of tonight's game.
Yeah, the Tigers win. They go. Jim Leyland said it pretty succinctly today in the morning paper. We have to hit to win. They haven't been hitting.
Unbelievable that they would take this down to, well, next to the last day. If they win it, then it's over.
Well, they've been playing poorly, but you really have to give a lot of credit to the Ron Gardenhire and his Twins who won 15 out of 19. They have really put the pressure on the Tigers.
Fly ball to left field. Montanez is playing there tonight. Bautista's retired.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense. Montanez, who you just see, Fiorentino in center field, Markakis in right field, Wigginton at third, is Torres, who's getting hot with the bat. Roberts got an award before the game for his doubles, 56 of them at second. Aubrey with a couple of home runs last night, and then Guillermo Rodriguez behind the plate.
Here is Aaron Hill. Hill will take the ball to center field. Fiorentino. Mark Hendrickson gets a couple of quick outs here. The other thing I just have to note, because if this happens, it will be one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of baseball ever. Colorado has got a chance not only to beat the Dodgers in the West, they have a chance to have the best record in the National League. Think about that. This was a team June 1, 15 games under 500. Not only are they going to make the playoffs, they could be the #1 team, because today the Cardinals and Phillies both lost. Philadelphia's got 92 wins. The Cardinals have 91. The Dodgers still have 93, but Colorado's got 92. If all those other teams lose and they win both games, they have 94. They'll have the most wins, the best record in the National League. That is inconceivable.
Yeah, and they did it last night to Tulowitzki. I was watching the game when I went home, and he hit a ball, an 0-2 fastball, 2 strikes, about 430 to left center field. I mean, just crushed it for his 32nd home run. There's a perfect pitch on the outside corner. So, you know, Jimenez pitched terrific for him, struck out 10 in 6 innings, even though he threw 38 pitches in 1 inning. So they're on a roll. And the Dodgers,
They can't win.
No. Well,
they're just like Detroit. They're struggling with the same thing, trying to get that one more win. The Dodgers have lost 5 games in a row, and Colorado's won 5 in a row, and they're playing one another.
And they're going to be in the playoff, but home field advantage throughout the playoffs. If you can get into the second, and then eventually they won't get the World Series home advantage.
They just want to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're already there.
Yeah, they're already there.
Yeah.
There's the walk surrendered. Encarnacion gets it. It comes with 2 down. Off Mark Hendrickson, 2 away and 1 on, and that will bring up Vernon Wells. Wells had his hit streak ended in the ball game last night. He had a 4-game streak going. He ended up with an 0 for 5 in last night's game. 262 with the 15 home runs on the season. Michael Aubrey will hold the runner at first base, and the pitch is going to be taken up high for a ball. Vernon Wells hitting just 204 against left-handers. That's another one of those numbers for this season you couldn't possibly have imagined at the start of the year. 1-0 delivery is taken inside, and it goes to 2-0.
Well, I talked to him and I talked to his hitting instructor, and he said it's one of those years where you try everything and it just doesn't work. Of course, that 7-year deal. Of course, Cito Gaston, the Blue Jays manager, one of the great hitting instructors, a real good player in his own right.
That one is drilled in the air, and it's not going to go. That ball didn't go anywhere at all. Compton is there to haul it in. Good inning for Mark Hendrickson. Base runner left on. Orioles line up when we come back. The 37 wins at home look to add to that. They're 37-42 here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Starting lineup for the O's tonight looks like this, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Roberts is Turris and Wieters, Marquegas, Wigginton, and Aubrey, Montanez, Fiorentino, and Guillermo Rodriguez. And Aubrey, 6 RBI night last night.
Well, good news, 2-game win streak. Bad news, 10 home runs in 9.21 ERA in September. And he's a great story because he's a native Canadian, 14th that played for the Blue Jays, and he came through the independent league 3 years.
3 years of independent baseball. You got to earn your way around. He pitched at Oklahoma State in the college department, but then went back and played independent league baseball. 1-0 delivery to Roberts, and that'll be fouled away. The quest for the all-time doubles mark for a second baseman. Days dwindling down. 2 more games left to go. Still needs 4 to tie the 1936 record set by Charlie Gehringer. 1-1 delivery, and Roberts on a cut on a ball down, 1-2.
Yeah, the one thing, had bicep tendonitis, so in July pitched 3 innings, in August 18 innings, started out 4-0. Of course, the best start in baseball, at least one of them, was the Blue Jays when they went 27-14 until they ran into the American League East.
Ryan Roberts will take the pitch inside. 30-year-old right-hander on the mound with all that time spent college and independent leagues. Took a while to get to the majors, so he's a 30-year-old rookie.
And that 4th win was against the Orioles.
2-2 delivery, and a good pitch down and in, gets a strikeout. There's Aris Torres looking to have a big finish. Certainly started that ball rolling in last night's game. He had a 3 for 5, 2 singles, a double, 3 runs scored, and a stolen base to add to it. All that coming in one ball game in the 13-7 win over Toronto. And as Torres will take the pitch for a ball.
Yeah, there you go. And one of those times he didn't get a base, it was a line drive right on the nose to the right fielder.
As Torres starts it out right where he left off, a base hit. Solid. Wells will get it back in as Torres is on with a 1-out single. Richmond gives up a lot of hits, and in September it has been very tough from September on. A 9.21 ERA. Opponents are hitting .311 against him, and he's given up 10 home runs since September 1st.
Yeah, velocity down. Again, that injury, the bicep tendonitis, it's one of the more painful injuries, and it's very difficult to treat. So he's lost some velocity. What I was going to say is early on when he beat the Orioles, and it was a pretty good on the 3rd of May, he was throwing anywhere from 92 to 95. That's dropped down about 89 to 91. Breaking ball not as sharp, even though he threw a great one to Brian Roberts. So arm injuries will take their toll.
Matt Wieters. Matt's got a 5-game hit streak. He had a couple of hits, 5 at bats, including a home run last night. Since the 1st of last month, his average second only to Chris Coghlan of Florida. .359 since September 1, and Wieters continues to lead rookies in the average department, batting in that number 3 spot again, and a 5-game hit streak. And the off-speed pitch is in there and got him.
And that's what I liked about Scott Richmond. I mean, he looked to me a pretty conventional pitcher with 4 pitches. He's got a change up to go. So he's seen the slider to Brian Roberts for the strikeout. And here's your 12-6 curveball. And Barajas just kind of holds it there for the home plate umpire.
Bill Hahn's got the plate tonight. The home plate umpire and crew chief. Todd Tichenor's at first, Mike Estabrook at second, and Bruce Dreckman down at third base. Here's Nick Markakis. Runner on at first base and 2 down. Nick with a 3 for 4 in the opener of the series last night. He'll take the pitch up high for a ball. Markakis against Toronto this season, hitting .290. He's had a home run and 8 RBIs. Toronto leads the season series 9 games to 7. The Orioles, if they can sweep the 3 games here, would finish even Steven against the Jays. That one's going to miss, and a 2-0 count for Markakis. Dave Tremblay liking the way his ball club came out and played last night. They were flying. 2-0. He told Nick Markakis after the game, in light of the way Markakis was running bases, including a steal of third, he said, "You just raised the expectation bar for next year with your ball game last night. You're going to run more." And actually something Markakis wants to do.
Well, he said that in spring training and didn't do it all year.
Yep. That is in there for a strike, and it goes to 2-1.
Well, there's been a lot of hindsight from Dave Tremblay, and part of it is that somebody has to either allow them to run, give them the sign, encourage them, all those things. Yeah, tell them to run.
I think there's going to be more of that telling.
Yeah, and not a bad idea.
Nope. 2-1 delivery on the way, just missed. Richmond thought he had that.
You know as well as I do, Gary, that you have to do it prudently. I mean, who's pitching, who's throwing. I mean, if you look at Barajas, he's one of the best throwing catchers. So it doesn't mean you don't run on him. You maybe pick a pitch. You know who's pitching. You know if he's either quick to the plate or slow to the plate. If he's slow to the plate, you take advantage of it. You don't do it indiscriminately, but that's baseball.
Yep. 3 ball, 1 strike, throw over, and that'll get him back.
But you have to encourage your players to be at their best, and some guys need a little more encouragement, and they're all different. We all know that.
There's Torres, short lead at first base, 2 down. He's running, 3-2 delivery. That's outside for ball 4. So Markakis is on, and the Orioles have runners at first and second now with 2 down. That'll bring up Ty Wigginton. Wigginton's got a 4-game hit streak coming into the ball game. Is really up the average, hitting at .271. Ty is batting .308 with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs with 2 outs this season. The best number for an Oriole in those categories with 2 down. And here's that situation: 2 down, 2 on. Orioles trying to jump out again and get an early lead in the ball game, as they did last night against a Toronto team that, well, they're not going to the playoffs either. They're a little bit more physically exhausted and mentally so, I think, in light of what's gone on with the Cito Gaston talk from players. They're saying, you know, they didn't want him to come back, and stories being written, and the GM gets fired this morning. All kinds of stuff going on.
Well, I hadn't heard their offense. They've had, what, 38 runs in their last 4 games.
Yeah.
They've hit more home runs in the month of September. They won 9 out of 11.
Last night, though, I think it caught up with them. That ball in the gap to left center field will stay up. Snyder gets over, and he's got it. Wigginton is retired. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base. Scoreless after 1. Lawrence Hemler of York, PA. Lawrence, you got a chance to win $99 worth of American Classic scratch-off tickets from the Maryland Lottery for every Oriole home run hit tonight. You can have a chance to win too. Enter by logging in at MASNsports.com. Just a gorgeous night here at the ballpark. Fan Appreciation Weekend continuing. It'll be going on again tomorrow. Fans were selected at random before the game out on the field. Each of the Orioles out there literally took the jerseys off their back and handed them over to the kids. It's great. Tomorrow, Jeremy Guthrie and Ricky Romero will wrap up the regular season schedule starters. And again, Fan Appreciation Weekend goes on, and there'll be more of fans out on the field, getting uniforms, standing with the players for the anthem, throwing out the first pitch. I hope he'll get out for the final ball game. Rod Barajas, no hits in his last 11 at bats. Mark Hendrickson's pitch will be taken down low. 2-0 count.
Well, 4th in RBIs in the American League, and he has thrown out more attempted base stealers than anybody else. Real good percentage at almost 40.
That is a fair ball, went right over the bag into the corner. Montanez up. He's got to try for 2, and now decides I better not, and heads back to first base. Good play. Montanez hustles over and holds him to a single.
Yeah, not a very good combination for Rod Barajas. He hits the ball that's usually an automatic double, but he doesn't run that well. So it's just a long single. Usually we think long singles here at Camden Yards, either off the wall in right field. What great angle right there. The Expo right over the bag. Doesn't have to land fair. Bruce Dreckman calling it fair down at third base, and then Montanez does get to it quickly.
Now Ruiz, the veteran catcher, call up at the time of the expanded rosters. He's got a 5-game hit streak coming into the ball game. Put up some really good numbers in the opportunities that he has had since arriving.
Well, the 10 home runs are in 107 at bats. That's one every 10 times. He's going deep.
Right up the middle, and he's got another base hit. 6-game hit streak for him, and there are runners on at first and second base now with nobody out. The 09 season concludes tomorrow with the game at 1:35. We hope you'll turn out for the Fan Appreciation Weekend. Receive the scratch-off card from the Outback Steakhouse. Tickets start as low as $9. To get yours, 888-848-BIRD, to go to Orioles.com. Good house on hand here tonight to enjoy this next to the last ball game. And here's the former Oriole, Kevin Millar. Millar getting the start at first base. He's got a 4-game hit streak. He's had 6 hits in his last 13 at bats during the streak for Millar.
Well, he played third base for the first time in a long time, and actually played on a number of occasions in that Boston series that they swept up at Fenway. He got 6 hits in that series.
Millar is just .248 off the left-handers, but only a .193 off the right-handers. Pitch is taken down low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, you're looking for a ground ball at one of your infielders and try to get a double play. Kevin is a pull hitter, a demonstrative pull hitter. If he hits it to right field, it's an accident.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Henderson's breaking ball is going to be in there for a strike. So he gets ahead on the count. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Millar. Hendrickson looking for his 6th win of the season overall. 53rd game, 11th start. 1-2 delivery. Millar hits one in the hole. Montanez charging. Runner will be held. Barajas at third. And that will load him up. So back-to-back-to-back singles to open up the second inning for the Jays. And Hendrickson now with nobody out. We'll have to work to McDonald.
And again, 6'9", have to get over the front side, but for Mark Henderson, it's about making quality pitches. You could see that ball up. Not a very good 2-strike pitch to a pull hitter, and that's exactly what he does. Pulls it into left field.
So there are the 3, Barajas, Ruiz, and Millar, all picking up singles. And McDonald, 0 for 3 with the bases loaded this year, gets another shot.
With 3 hits last night.
He will foul that one away.
Kind of a strange, yeah.
Singles.
Wasn't it a strange night last night for? I mean, this guy is a defensive whiz. Makes a great play on a ball, heaves it over first base, but it hits the wall, so it's just a base hit. Then he loses a ball off the bat. He goes the other way. Never saw it. Never see that happen very often. And then gets 3 hits.
Yeah, one of those nights with a little bit of everything. Down to third and foul. The Orioles playing back here in the second inning of a scoreless ball game. They want that double play. Will give up the run to get 2 early in the game.
The one thing he does better than anybody in this lineup is hit with runners in scoring position. Not that many opportunities because he doesn't play all the time. Over 300 at 314.
And he's got a big chance right here. He is 3 for 11 lifetime off the Orioles starting left-hander. Anderson 0-2 count. Tried to get him to chase. He did. A chance at first. Aubrey over and makes the play. There's one big out here in the second inning. Bases remain loaded.
Yeah, great pitch right there. I mean, you could see Guillermo Rodriguez. He'll just go right to the outside corner, and then he delivers that backdoor curveball. Contrary to the first 3 batters, he gets ahead and then makes the perfect pitch. Great execution by Mark Hendrickson.
Now the double play could get him out of the inning. Travis Snyder batting in the number 9 spot, starting in left field. He had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. He has faced Hendrickson only once and is 0 for 1. Spent a good portion of the season playing at AAA Las Vegas. And the breaking ball is in there for a strike.
You'd like to think this is the guy you need to get out. He's only 7 for 37 against lefties. No home runs. All of his home runs, all 9 of them, come against right-handed pitching. And it's amazing that he graduated from high school in 2006. That's how young he is.
And looks it.
Yep. Oh, does he ever.
0-1 count. Lucky guy. That one in the air to center will get a run home. Fiorentino. Barajas will tag. Throw comes in, gets away, and the runner will move up. Runner had tagged at second. Ruiz, had the throw been to the cutoff man accurately and been caught, the runner would have stayed at second base. Barajas scores and a 1-0 lead.
Well, actually, it also seems, watch this. Now he's going to tag up, so that's an easy run, but this throw tails just a little bit. If Brian Roberts catches that, and it looked like he could have, you can see right there Ruiz is going to be out at third. You're out of the inning. Well, this is like an extra out. Brian just doesn't catch it. And you got a long way to read that throw. He doesn't do that. The ball gets by him, and instead of being out of the inning and having 1-0, an opportunity here for a guy that's hit home runs in his last 4 games to come up to the plate.
So Bautista, who flied out his first time up, will stand in. As we said, he has that 7-game hit streak going, and a balk and a run will score. So the play that wasn't made to hold the runner at second or get him at third looms even larger. A 2-0 lead. Wow. So you've had 2 little things that end up being very big things.
Yeah, see that, just that little flinch. If you're going to flinch, you better be stepping off when you do it.
Millar's down at second base through all of this. 2 runs are in.
And the reason we balk, we talk about flinch. If you start your windup, and that's what that flinch is, you have to continue or step off. And he just kind of started that little hand, not much, but enough to get the balk call. And again, this is maybe a little different read.
Emma Rodriguez, who is doing the catching, hasn't worked with Hendrickson, so there may be a problem with the signs here.
Well, you know that you're not used to him, but again, this is a veteran pitcher, and it's kind of like when you bring a rookie catcher up. You need to school him sometimes. Is it easy? No.
0-1 delivery, jammed him and got a pop up at second base. Is Torres. Roberts wants it and puts it away. So Bautista retired, but an RBI sac fly and another run on a balk and a 2-0 Blue Jay lead. The Babe looking on, and why not? The beautiful moon looking down as well. Full moon out tonight.
Yeah, is it ever?
It's gorgeous. And a strike taken as the Orioles down by 2 now. Aubrey, Montanez, and Fiorentino. Career 6 RBI night for Michael Aubrey last night, including 2 home runs and his first career grand slam, all in one ball game. He's really been impressive at the plate. 293 now. 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Richmond's pitch to him will be taken the other way. Snyder. 1 down. Scott Richmond will face Montanez. Montanez getting another start in left field in the ball game for the Orioles. He's at the end of the year getting a few chances here. 28th game, 74 at bats, a home run, 6 RBIs. Lou's going to play winter ball in Puerto Rico, his hometown. Pitches outside for a ball. He can't wait. Talking with him yesterday, he said the other guys are all ready to go home and can't wait for the season to end. Said I'm wishing it was going to go on for about another 5 months. 1-0 delivery, slash to right center field. Wells on the fly, not going to get there. Splits the gap to the wall. Played in by Bautista, and a double for Lou Montanez.
Yeah, you know, the thumb surgery on his left thumb really set him back. But right here, it's another play for a young player. You think triple out of the box because there's one out. And when you hit it here and it lands this softly, you don't shut it down. It's a long way to go. And you go about 10, 12 strides back, he's already thinking just double. Well, you've got to try to get the third. Just makes it so much simpler to get on the board.
As we saw in that last half inning.
Yep.
Jeff Fiorentino, RBI chance for him with one down. And we'll take a strike on the inside corner. Orioles have their second hit of the ball game. Fiorentino 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Jeff also, of course, with limited at bats compared to the starters on the year. 57 at bats in 22 games prior to tonight. Rodriguez will be following him in the lineup. 1 ball, 1 strike count. White Sox have taken a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. Second inning. Minnesota's already won their game. Detroit loses. They'll be tied for first. It is fouled away. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Scott Richmond, 112 strikeouts. He is 4th in Ks in the league. He's got the 7th best opponent batting average at 264. Up the middle, literally under his left arm. Up with the ball as Wells. Here comes Montanez, and he'll score. It's 2-1. Fiorentino the RBI.
Yeah, Jeff came in, hit 333, not a lot of chances, only 12. This is what he did down in Tampa Bay to end that 13-game losing streak. 3rd run off of Garza was a BB up the middle. Another curveball, same pitch he hit down in Tampa Bay.
And the Orioles get on the board as Fiorentino picks up the RBI, his 7th of the year. A battle going on here at the end of the season with people like Montanez and Fiorentino. Felix P.A. while he was playing, all trying to get some recognition, knowing there's going to be a battle next year if they are still with the Orioles for backup role in the outfield, assuming Nolan Reimold is ready to go, which there's no reason to believe otherwise.
Yeah, you give Felix P.A. the instincts of Jeff Fiorentino with his physical skills. You'd have an all-star.
Yes, you would.
Even though Felix did get a lot better. The more he played, it seemed like he was understanding how to play the game a little bit better.
Rodriguez will take the pitch. It is in there for a strike. Starting catcher in tonight's ball game has had only 2 at-bats, 7 games now that he has appeared in since being called up. There is Felix P.A. with the ball club watching. Will not be playing for the remainder of the season due to that quad strain. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and that'll be fouled off, and a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the one thing we found out about Felix P.A. sometimes maybe not playing the game the way you'd really like to have it played, but he does hustle. Nobody runs out balls any better than he does, and that's how he hurt that leg, trying to stay out of a double play. So he has really come on to be, again, utilizing the tools that he has.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Short lead at first. Fiorentino held by Millar. And he fouls that one away. Rodriguez came up September 8th. He was at both AA, AAA this year. He batted .251, 71 games with AA Bowie, and 18 games played at AAA. Came away with the 9 RBIs, just .222 average. Played with the Giants in 07, 39 games in the big club. Right off the end of the bat, McDonald, Hill, and and that'll turn a double play. The Orioles get a run on a couple of hits with nobody left on base. Fiorentino gets the RBI. Jays lead it 2-1.
You mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Dave Tremblay said he is going to take a less tolerant role next year with the players, and he said that the guys that have been here a long time, they need to step up, even more so than the managers or coaches. They need to be the ones to say this is not acceptable. And I spoke to Brian Roberts about that, and he said that Dave hadn't communicated that to the players just yet. He hadn't called a team meeting to tell him how he felt about that just yet. But Brian said obviously next year will be about wins and losses. At some point, an organization needs to switch its focus from rebuilding to winning. And he said if we're going to be judged on that, that's fine, but we need to show we have the ability to go out there and do it. So it looks like Dave Tremblay is going to be asking guys like Brian Roberts to take more responsibility on with this team next year. Gary?
Yeah, Amber, I think that's fair. I really do, because when you talk to the players, and we had Adam Jones here in the booth last night with us, Adam, unsolicited, talked about the importance of Brian Roberts as the igniter, the term that Adam used, for this ball club. So if that's going to be the case, then Brian's going to have to find a way to lift his play yet another level. Play made by is Torres over to first base. Hill is retired, one down here in the third inning. 0 for 2 in the ball game for Aaron Hill. All right, Encarnacion coming up. He drew a walk his first time up. RBI sac fly Snyder, a balk, resulting in the 2 runs for Toronto. Encarnacion 1 for 2 lifetime, the only times he has faced the left-hander Mark Hendrickson. And we'll take the fastball up high for ball 1. Hendrickson is 0-1 this year against this Toronto team. He has a 2-win, 7-loss record lifetime against them. Fly ball. I don't know if these balls are just coming off the end of the bat or if they're just not carrying, but they're not going anywhere.
Well, you know, I think what it is that you got a bunch of guys that you got, what, 29 home runs in their last 11 games. So they are trying to go deep, and they get the ball on the end of the bat. And here's a perfect example with Vernon Wells. Now, he's got 15 home runs. He gets the count to 2-0, and instead of, you talked about what, 2005, 205 against lefties. What's this approach? I mean, that ball's off the plate outside. He's trying to hit it over the left center field fence. So watch him go way out there and get it, and what happens? It's hard to center a ball like that. Now you can hit it a long way the other way. But that's what Mark Hendrickson wants you to do. You know, try to pull his soft stuff and the 2-seamer down and away right there.
There's the gauze.
Yeah.
Took that one up the middle, and that will be a base hit. So Wells gets a single. It comes with 2 down here in the third inning. I was just looking. We were talking about Wells. Last year against left-handers, he hit .333 off left-handers, and that has dropped all the way down to .204 this year. Wow.
One of those years, at least that's what the way they explain it, and I don't think you can explain that.
That's just an enormous.
But I think a lot of it is that when you're getting paid a lot of money, and he had the 7-year, $126 million contract, you probably sometimes get away from what you do best, which is use all fields. And we talk about the numbers. What, he's got 6 home runs in his last 18 games. Well, he used to hit the ball right center to left center. If you become a pull hitter, you're easier to pitch to. So maybe the approach has changed.
2 down here. Wells on at first base in the breaking ball. Barajas, who had a single his first time up, swings over that one.
Yeah, and he got a 2-0 fastball to hit. Ruiz would come up next, hit a changeup down and away with a great approach, and hit it right back up the middle. So Mark Hendrickson knows what he has to do. Now, whether he'll do that, that's the difference sometimes between pitching good and very poorly.
Barajas got out of an 0 for 11, 0 for 11 that he had with that base hit in his first at bat. He much better against the lefties this year, 262 than the righties, 217. 2-1 ball game. Jays on top. Mark Hendrickson trying to get a ground ball right here and get a force out or the play at first base on Barajas, who doesn't have blazing speed out there.
Yeah, he's trying to go deep too. He had 21 home runs back in 2005 for Texas. 19 is the second most in his career.
This is a very hot hitting home run team. They've had 16 home runs in their last 4 ball games. I mean, they're just pulverizing the ball, including 3 in the ball game last night for Cito Gaston. They have won 4 out of their last 5 as their 4-game win streak ended last night. 6-game win streak. And that pitch is taken down low, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. 2-2, 2 down, run around at first base. Right-handers against Hendrickson, 290. Left-handers, 264. He's given up 14 of the 16 homers to right-handers. And Wells will jaunt back to the bag.
Yeah, right-handers have certainly done the damage against Mark Hendrickson with the 14 home runs. Look at that. Minnesota, they've won, what, 15 out of 19? Toronto right behind them.
Fastball that he was going to lean into ends up being up high.
And I think that's one of the reasons that Dave Tremblay, when he would bring him in, you get a right-hander up there, a lot of left-handed hitters, you could use him in the bullpen, and he did a terrific job. He's not a guy like George Sherrill, 6 for 40, but his numbers against lefties are a lot better than against right-handers.
3-ball 2-strike, runner goes, and the pitch is down low, and the second walk surrendered by Hendrickson. Will put 2 on with 2 down here in the 3rd inning for the Jays. And it will bring up Ruiz. The base on balls that have hurt the Orioles so often this year. See what happens with it right here.
Well, Ruiz has got 3 home runs in his last 2 games. Batista's hit home runs in 4 straight. You can see how they've gotten those 16 home runs. And what would scare me, and I think that's why Dave Tremblay was looking down, is that Ruiz took a good pitch and hit it right back up the middle. It was a pitcher's pitch, and his approach was like perfect. Down and away, hit it right back up the middle. You don't see too many hitters do that.
He's got a 6-game hit streak. And goes after that one that was down and in on him.
I met him today. I said, you got to swing harder. That's all you need to do. This guy airs it out in obviously is a controlled fashion about as well as anybody.
Veteran minor league player. He gets a call up as a thank you. He is a rookie. 0-1 delivery, and that will be fouled away, and the count will go to 2 strikes. So Hendrickson getting ahead on the count on Ruiz. Talk about the home runs this team hits. Talk about consistency. They've got 104 home runs they hit at home and gave up 90 on the road. They've hit 102 home runs on the road and given up 90. I mean, the numbers are almost exactly the same. Home and road home runs. Way up high. Rodriguez almost took his arm off as he jumped up for it, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
And the radar gun tells you when you try to throw it a little bit extra, it may go wild, but it doesn't go any harder. 86 miles per hour on that. If it was any harder, I don't think he would have caught it.
It's a pretty good catch. That ball was behind him when he caught it. 2 on, 2 down. Here's the 1-2. Toward short is Turris. Second to Robertson. That's that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. 2-1 Jays. looked to at the beginning of the Orioles season to be one of their offensive leaders. He came into this season having led the Orioles in most doubles 2 times, all-time records. Last year 51, and in 2004 he had 50. Brian Roberts has bettered that this season. 56 two-baggers, and a highlight of the Orioles' 09 season.
He's your best player.
He's also got a new career high in runs, 108, and he is third in the American League in runs, first in doubles, and 8th in extra base hits. Taken all the way, that is down low. Take a look at career highs for a couple of the Orioles. Brian, runs, doubles, and RBIs, new highs set this year. And for Luke Scott, home runs, RBIs, and walks. Those numbers all established for those 2 players this season. Luke having to watch more than he wants to here at the end of the year, hoping he's going to get a chance to get into a couple of ball games.
Yeah, he hopes to play tomorrow. He said he just strained a muscle in his foot. And simple as that. Doesn't know how he did it. Down on the turf in Tampa Bay. Change up. Oh, a little late call by Bill Hahn.
Take a breath and then say strike.
Yeah, you could be thinking about what you're going to do in the next pitch, and he'll call you out. You got to go back to the dugout if you a little delay.
1 ball, 2 strikeout. Brian struck out his first time up, and Brian strikes out his second time up. Barajas will put the tag on him. 3 Ks for Richmond. A new Orioles tradition will begin this spring. The birds fly south to the new spring training home in Sarasota, Florida. You can visit Orioles.com right now and sign up to receive the latest news on tickets and travel packages as they become available. Then make plans to enjoy the sun and spring training 2010 in Sarasota. Visit Orioles.com for details. 1 down here in the 3rd. Is Torres a single his first time up, and will take a strike on the inside corner. White Sox 2, Tigers nothing. Second inning.
In Detroit.
In Detroit. 0-1 delivery on the way. Minnesota won their ball game today 5-4. Nathan got the save. They had a bigger lead early. KC made a great run at them, and Minnesota got the victory.
Was that Greinke?
That was Zach Greinke.
Yeah. He of the 2.06 ERA, at least starting the game.
0-2 delivery on the way. Lashed foul the other way. There'll be no play.
Well, I mean, if you look at last night, Adam Wainwright of the Cardinal tried to win his 20th. He got knocked around. Sabathia tried to win his 20th. Got knocked around.
So Greinke finished up, we understand, at 216, 2.16.
Incredible earned run average in this day and age.
That is played at first. Millar. Richmond gets over to cover 2 down. Amber.
Well, Gary, with the win tonight, the Orioles will avoid a 100-game losing season. And while that seems rather unimpressive, Matt Wieters told me that it's important to them. He said, we want to win this series. We want to go out on a good note, and for nothing else, to take a good feeling into next year. He said, if you remember back in 2008, he was part of that group in Bowie, along with Nolan Reimold and Brad Bergeson and the others, that went on a winning run to the playoffs. They went to the Southern Division Championship at the end of the year. And he said that gave them confidence coming into a year in which a lot of them made their major league debuts, and he says they want that same type of confidence going into next year. He thinks it can only be positive, so it's good to see that these young guys are still valuing winning this late in the season, Gary.
Absolutely. You want to value it all the time, and I think that's the concept that's trying to institute here in the Orioles to all of the players. It doesn't matter whether it's game 161 or 162. You should have enough pride that you want to win because you're out on the field playing the ball game. 2 ball, 1 strike count of Matt Wieters, called out on strikes his first time up. White Sox, Garcia and Figueroa are in that ball game in Detroit. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and that is taken down low. Orioles down by 1. Birkin, Hernandez, Mattis left to right. 3 of those younger players Amber's talking about. That'll be fouled away by Matt Wieters, a strikeout victim his first time up.
Yeah, Scott Richmond's got a pretty nice complement of pitches, and the one pitch that you don't see that often is that big overhand curveball. Not too many guys can throw it and command it.
Yeah, so
he's 6'5". Yeah, I mean, he's got great size.
He's got a 3-0 mark against the Orioles with a 2.5 ERA in 3 starts lifetime, including a 2-0 record this year. 3-2 delivery, and Wieters is gone. 4 strikeouts. 2 of them have come against Matt Wieters. A 1-2-3 inning. It remains 2-1 Jays. Moon out to 1959 Capri's right here at CKLW. Different era, different job. This ball game a 2-1 lead for the Jays. RBI single by Fiorentino, bringing Montanez home. That came in the 2nd inning. Snyder's had an RBI sac fly, and right now the go-ahead run scored on a balk in the ball game. 2-4-0 for the Jays. 1-3-0 for the Orioles. Kevin Millar, a single that loaded the bases in the 2nd inning. Fouls that off the catcher, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Mark Hendrickson has continued in the starting role to pitch well. Non-decision the last 2. Tampa Bay, Toronto. Loss against Tampa Bay before that. Hendrickson just, he's dying to get a W here. His win as a starter goes all the way back to April 10, when he got the victory over Tampa Bay as a starter. The other wins he has coming out of the bullpen. 2-1 delivery. Took something off that one, and Millar out in front of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's looking fastball. He throws him a little wrinkle. Nice curveball. Of course, Kevin Millar started back in 1993. Rick Granite's got to like that. Crafty lefty. But he started in independent league.
2-2.
Goodbye.
The inside corner.
Yep.
First strikeout for Hendrickson.
There's nothing like when you make the great pitch and then the hitter's looking right down. I mean, watch Millar. Watch his reaction to this. I mean, Rodriguez moves inside. And look at him look down. He's going to look down. Kevin's going to get frozen, and then he'll look right down at home plate to see where that inside corner was.
That's the look. I know it was a strike,
Right.
But I certainly don't want to show anybody there. That one hard to short is Torres over, and he's got it. McDonald retired. The Orioles' new home in Sarasota will involve a good deal of renovations. The Ed Smith Stadium, which has been the home of spring training baseball for some years, is going to be redone. It will have a lot of pedestrian mallways around it. It's in a great location, literally downtown in Sarasota. And there you see an overview along with the workout upper right, and the Lakes workout area where they'll do even more work to get fields and clubhouse facilities in better shape. So Andy MacPhail has been down there, went down during the Tampa Bay trip, and during the winter he's going to be going down.
So this is the way to your house?
Actually, that is the way to my house. And the pitch is taken for a strike. You need a larger Google shot to show the whole thing, but yeah, that was the general direction. That's a good guess. Travis Snider, 1-1. Can we get some of those renovations on my house?
Yeah.
That's out of the reach of Brian Roberts, and Snider is on with a single.
And my good friend Jana Marie Smith, my best buddy. Well, they are unfortunate because she did a terrific job here. Did a great job up at Fenway Park with all their renovations. And a very Baltimore native here. Yeah. So,
even better.
I don't know if she's a native, but I know she lives in Baltimore. So
they'll be doing the work.
Oh, yeah.
And redesigning. 2 down here. Jose Bautista coming up. Bautista's flied out and popped out. Bautista 3 for 13 off Mark Hendrickson. Runner at first base. Again, over the top of that one.
Well, yeah, he's again home runs in his 4 straight games. He's just been red hot. 9 of his 12 home runs in September and October. And I'm sure Mark paid attention. He had a fastball last night for a 2-run shot late in the game.
The 0-1 trying again.
Well, another great changeup.
First time in his career he's had 4 straight games with a homer. The last J to do that, Vernon Wells, back in 03. And Bautista trying to make it 5 in a row with those cuts. 2 down. Snider on at first base. Hendrickson, the 0-2. Popped him up, second base. Brian Roberts hits it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Orioles down by 1. Middle of the order, Markakis to lead it off. Make your deposits now for the 2010 Orioles full or partial season plans, and you can start enjoying orange carpet benefits. All full and partial plan holders enjoy major savings on the cost of game tickets, access to exclusive season plan holder events, and great offers, plus opening day tickets. So make your deposit now, and you get an autographed photo of Matt Wieters. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, I'm Theo Harris, and a very fine crowd on hand here this Saturday night. A 2-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Scott Richmond, 30-year-old right-hander, on the mound. And Markakis will take that one as it bounces away. Markakis threw a walk his first time up. The Orioles won 37 ball games here at Camden Yards last season. They have already won 37 here at home this year. So a couple of chances to up the home record. 1-0 delivery. Markakis hard, fair ball. That's going to be chased into the corner by Bautista. Markakis on his way to second base, and he'll go in with a stand-up double to lead off the 4th.
Yeah, bad idea in a hitter's count to throw Nick or any left-hander that has a quick bat something down, because they can just drop the bat head. Check out the way he just drops the bat head, and Terry Crowley, his hitting instructor, says it's barrel of the bat to the ball, the path of the bat to contact. And he just hits a screamer over the bag, and once it gets down to that corner, you know it's going to be a double.
Potential tying run, second base, nobody out. Ty Wigginton flying out to left field, his first time up. Richmond outside with it. Wigginton 293 off the Jays on the year. No home runs, 4 RBIs against Toronto. Orioles had the lead in the win last night when they scored the 13 runs on 14 hits. Fell behind in this ball game 2-0. Have made it 2-1 and now a chance to tie or better. Wigginton way outside as Barajas has to go out and stop a couple. Markakis stays at second base, 2-0 count. Nick took off for third last night because nobody watched him. He was out there at second base. Pitcher didn't turn around. Nobody moved at short or second to cover the bag. Richmond at least looking. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Wigginton, he's got a shot up the middle. They're going to bring him on home. Here comes Markakis. Here comes the throw by Vernon Wells. Cut off. Nobody at first. So Wigginton could get back. He's got an RBI single, and the Orioles have tied it up at 2.
I tell you, it's great to cut it off, but why are you cutting it off? I mean, Wells, watch this. I mean, nice stroke by Wigginton. Watch Wells come in. Of course, he won 3 Gold Gloves right here. Beebe hits the cutoff man. Why wouldn't you let it go? Because if you cut it off, you can't throw anybody out at first. Nobody's covering behind Wigginton. But very much like Ruiz hit a ball up the middle early on. Wigginton all over that down and away fastball to tie it up.
Wigginton gets his 41st RBI, a 2-2 ball game. Each team 2 runs, 5 hits. Michael Aubrey last night, what a night. He just pounded away as he would pick up 6 RBIs, a 2 RBI homer, and a grand slam home run. First career grand slam. And all smiles last night, and that continued into today, and why not? 1 ball, 1 strike count on him. Runner at first base, nobody out. Aubrey with Montanez to follow. Off-speed pitch froze him. Barajas thought it was a strike.
Yeah, they don't get that call. I think it's a pretty tiny strike zone tonight. Bill Hunt not only does he lay over, but he's making you throw it over. Pitchers don't. I never like to do that. You want to throw enough to get them to swing at balls, but you like to get ahead.
2-1 delivery on the way. Check swing, and he didn't go around. Just moved the body more than the bat. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Aubrey.
Well, both of the home runs were on fastballs. Up in Toronto, his first home run as an Oriole was a curveball. The home run in Cleveland was a fastball that he hit to right field.
Aubrey will take it down low, and he's on. So the Orioles an inning going here in the 4th. 3 up, 3 on, and a run in. That is the second walk surrendered by Scott Richmond in the game. First and second, nobody out.
We told you about that 9.71 ERA in the month of September, and now into October. Even when he won, they got him 11 runs up in Boston. He gave up 3 home runs and 4 runs in 6 innings against the Orioles. 3 runs in 5 innings, and then before that 6 and 6, 5 and 5. So it's been a struggle.
So Scott Richmond in trouble here in the 4th inning. Montanez had a double and scored his first time up.
Well, you got to think he's bunting.
Third base, Encarnacion moves in. Does square, takes the pitch outside, and it is a ball. Going to try and have the pitcher play this as Encarnacion at thirds tries to stay back here to get a force out, at least on that pitch.
Yeah, one of the plays is you throw it and you cover the third baseline. I mean, you'll come right into here and catch it and try to force the runner at third.
Not bunting, and the pitch is outside. and it goes to 2-0.
I sat with Al Bumbry, rookie of the year, longtime Oriole, and he was talking when he coached for Joe Morgan up with the Red Sox, and he said a lot of guys, when you want them to bunt, Joe Morgan would put the bunt sign on. They didn't want to bunt, so they would take the first pitch and then they'd go do what they want to do. So Al said, Joe, put it on and keep it on. And then all of a sudden you start seeing guys done it.
That ball to left field. It's an Adam ball. No, it's going to fall in for a base hit. Snyder will play it in. Runner held at third. Wigginton, and the bases are loaded.
Man, Ty Wigginton is saying, why didn't he catch that ball? I don't think he got a very good jump. Again, he's only 21. If you don't get a good read on a line drive right at you, and again, it's another ball right on the end of the bat that you talked about early. So it looks like the big swing, the little drop step, ball falls in front of him.
Wigginton had to wait, thinking it was going to be caught. So the bases are loaded here in the fourth inning as the Orioles have had 4 batters reach, all 4 who have come up in the inning, and now have 6 hits in the game. Markakis had a double and scored. Wigginton, the single that scored him, is at third. Aubrey a walk at second. Montanez a single at first.
So this is probably how do you feel and how we're going to pitch to Fiorentino, who hit a sizzling line drive for an RBI. Curveball about belt high in the middle of the plate, right back up the middle. That didn't work.
Jeremy Accardo in the bullpen. Fiorentino, it is his first chance with the bases loaded this season for the Orioles. He had a single and an RBI his first time up. Ball game tied at 2. Fiorentino will take a strike on the outside corner. A chance for the O's to get to Richmond and maybe even get the starter out of the ball game in this inning. Infield will look for the double play. Here's the 0-1. Fiorentino takes it in the dirt. Breaking ball. Barajas knocks it down.
Yeah, Jeff Fiorentino's approach at the plate is a pretty sound one because he doesn't overswing very often. So he'll wait to the last minute. That's why he's such a good breaking ball hitter.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and that just misses. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Richmond has been around the zone, but being around it isn't good enough.
Well, if you move this over about 6 inches, this ball's going sailing somewhere. I think that ball might have been a little farther outside, and maybe you could see Barajas trying to drag it back into the zone.
Ground ball, not hit hard. Runner coming to the plate. Go for 2. There's 1. No relay. An RBI, second of the ball game. Fiorentino and the Orioles have a 3-2 lead on the fielder's choice.
Well, obviously not what Jeff wants, but part of this game is when you get in these situations, you don't strike out, you don't pop up, you have a quality at bat, you move runners, you become productive. And right here, even sometimes it's a simple ground ball to second base. With his speed, you know you're not going to double play. You can see McDonald hoping that maybe he'd get an out at third. So the double play is still in order, but you take the lead. It's a productive at bat.
And Fiorentino, with 2 RBIs in the ball game, now has 8 on the year. Runners at first and third, still only 1 away. Guillermo Rodriguez at the plate will have to wait as Fiorentino goes diving back into the bag.
We talked about running. I don't know. It's a good idea if you think you can run because Richmond is quick to the plate. But they've only attempted 9 steals all year long. Barajas throws so well.
That one will be chopped foul. Barajas has thrown out 35% of base stealers, well above the average of about 29 this year.
I think that 27, the 27 of what? 27 of 83 is the highest amount of guys that have been thrown out in the major leagues. Not the percentage, just the number. Yeah, so he's got a rocket arm.
0-1 count. Another one down to third. Play's got to be at first. Running throw made, and a nice pick by Millar. Encarnacion getting the ball over there, and Millar able to pick it to get the out. The Orioles with Aubrey coming in. It'll be an RBI picked up by Rodriguez.
Yeah, a couple of soft ground balls get 2 runs. Pretty good breaking ball right here, but it sits so softly. And what Gary Thorne was telling you, Encarnacion makes a very, very nice play.
So a couple of infield ground balls result in a couple of runs, and the Orioles take a 4-2 lead in the game. Fiorentino goes down to second base. And Brian Roberts, who is 0 for 2, will try for the 2-out RBI. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Brian hitting just .226 against the Toronto Blue Jays this year. He has had 8 RBIs against them, 5 doubles. Has struck out twice in this ball game. 0-1 delivery to him is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I think it looks to me the pattern's going to be run him off the plate a little bit with your fastball and try to throw that curveball. That's how he got him out the first 2 times. But if you watch Brian Roberts and you get that curveball in the middle of the plate, get it up a little bit, all of a sudden he's a totally different hitter.
1-1 delivery to him. Brian is 1 for 9 on Scott Richmond.
Except the problem so far tonight for Brian is he's not getting that curveball up. He's throwing his best curveballs tonight have been to Brian Roberts.
White Sox 3, Detroit nothing, 3rd inning.
Unbelievable.
The White Sox lose. They will be tied for first with Minnesota. Minnesota won today 5-4 over Kansas City. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that pitch is taken up high. There's only one more day remaining, of course. If there's a tie, there'd be a playoff game, and it has to be Tuesday because Monday Night Football will eliminate the chance to play a tie-breaking game on Monday.
When are the playoffs starting?
Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. 2-2 count. Brian Roberts. Roberts high in the air near the stands. Bautista over and no play. Two ball, 2 strike count on Brian Roberts. Brian looking to lead the Orioles in runs, doubles, stolen bases. If he does that, it'll be the second straight year that he has led the Orioles. Brady Anderson had a 3 times led in 93, 95, and 97 in those categories, runs, doubles, and stolen bases. 2-2 delivery. That one's up the middle and a 2-out RBI. Fiorentino will come in to score, and a 5-2 lead as Roberts gets it done.
Well, we talked about the curveball, and if you do it too often, and again, he doesn't quite bounce it. Still got a ball to work with, and Brian adjusts. And who better on this team adjusts? There's your curveball right back up the middle, stayed on it. Nobody can catch that one, and Fiorentino, even though he stumbled coming around third, stands up long enough to make it 5-2. 4-run inning so far for the Orioles in the 4th.
And a big 2-out RBI, number 79 on the season for Brian Roberts.
Will he steal base number 30? Nope.
As Torres will take the pitch and is in there for a strike. The 8th Oriole to hit here in the 4th inning. As Torres has singled and grounded out. 5 runs on 7 hits now for the O's. Scott Richmond. Here's the 0-1 delivered, and that's way up high, and 1-1.
You know, a good way to control the running game is to have a guy that's really conversational like Kevin Millar at first base. People don't want to steal. He's got so much stuff. He's like a disc jockey.
He's like Yogi Berra used to be as a catcher.
Yeah.
Ted Williams used to tell Berra to shut up. Here's the 1-1 delivery. That one down the line. Berra would intentionally talk to hitters in order to distract them, and he'd be talking about how's the family, what'd you do over the winter, how old are the kids.
Yeah.
And Williams told him, shut up or I'm going to hit you over the head with a bat. And they used some other words, as Ted would, but
would he ever?
but Yogi was great doing that.
Well, he even confused the Aflac duck.
Brian is threatening to go.
Well, he's probably heard enough of Millar now. He would like to get the 30 steals. Yeah.
Just tell him I had to listen to you all last year.
Oh, did everybody did?
I'm going to steal.
All right, got to go now.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Breaking ball. That is on there for a strike. So Scott Richmond will get the strikeout. That'll be his 5th of the ball game, but the Orioles have a 4-run inning offing and now have a 5-2 lead. As we look back at 2009, there were a lot of pies in the face nights here. Nolan Reimold, Jason Bergkamp, look at that. A lot of times Adam Jones, you notice, was involved in all of this. You see that? There's Tillman. There's Jones. There's Mattis. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Well, that's a good thing, though. All rookies. First home run, first win.
They got to get some whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
That shade
was
just too harsh. Just burns your eyes out. There's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken down low. Orioles have the lead. Mark Hendrickson on the mound against Hill. He is flied out and grounded out. Aaron Hill, 6th in runs, 3rd in home runs, and 5th in RBIs in the American League. Check swing, and he went around. Home plate umpire Bill Hahn making the call on that one. 1-2.
Man, what a great year he's had. Concussion last year. 2 years ago, 17 home runs, but this year, 19 more home runs than he hit 2 years ago. Monster year.
That one will go to his Torres at short. And Hill is retired. Take a look at our Ford Prospect Player Profile, brought to you by your local Ford dealer. Caleb Joseph, 7th round draft pick by the Orioles, went to Lipscomb for college ball. Catcher, right-handed batter, played at A-ball at Frederick, where he hit .284, 12 home runs, 60 RBIs, a very solid season in the shorter season at A-ball for him.
We had a chance to meet him. He was behind the cage when the Orioles were hitting earlier in the year, so he came down. The position players, the flux of them is increasing.
The depth needed. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way. Encarnacion, who has walked and popped out.
Yeah, these guys have one thing in mind, and that's try to take Hendrickson deep. And he's stayed out of the happy zone for them so far. I mean, he's given up the runs. One of them, as you mentioned, Gary, on the balk.
He's had some pretty good numbers September, October in his career. Solid finishes. 0-2 delivery, stayed outside, just missed on a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Yeah, and again, he pitched against him in only 68 pitches to get through 6 innings and left with a 5-2 lead up in Toronto. Bullpen, at least that night, Baez and then Johnson.
Popped him up.
But these guys aren't trying to hit yet.
Leaning, and it's just out of his reach.
They're not trying to hit soft signals to right.
No, you take a look at it. I was just looking at the numbers that he's put up in the last 38 games. He's hitting only .236, 7 home runs, 21 RBI. So it's either been the long ball or nothing for Encarnacion, and that's true for a number of these players on the lineup for the Jays right now. 1-ball 2-strike count.
So what if you make your pitches? Right there, a changeup down and away. I mean, he's looking for a ball in the inside middle. And of course, if Mark's coming in this count, you could still do it. You still have room. Ray Miller used to always say the Orioles pitch in when you're even or ahead. So this is one of those ahead situations. Come in, come way in off the plate, which he tried to do, and now he'll go down and away. Oh, he got him.
Got him on a called strike high and inside. Encarnacion thought it was that anyway.
Well, I think Bill Hahn likes to call people out. He's got the type of strike call where you could tear your rotator cuff. He gets into it. This guy obviously. Now watch this strikeout call. You could get hurt on this. Yeah, ow. Hurts my arm just watching him.
It's a pretty good dance step right there done with the two of them.
Well, if he did the moonwalk like Leslie Nielsen, I'd really be impressed.
Well, that would be too much. Rodriguez came up and did a 1-step though, while Hahn behind him was making the out calls. A pretty good combination. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 count. Wells. He singled his last time up, 1 for 2 in the ball game and 1 for 7 so far in the series. Two-0 count, 2 down. Orioles have a 5-2 lead coming back from a 2-0 deficit in this ball game. Hendrickson trying to bear one inside, does, and gets the call at the knees, and the 2-ball 1-strike count on Wells. Got to come up swinging in this ball game. Fits around there, Bill Hahn. Going to go with the pitcher. Wells will pop it up back. No play. It's not a play. Vernon Wells against the Orioles on the season, hitting .284. He's had 3 home runs and 9 RBIs against the O's. Big hit man against the Orioles has been Aaron Hill. He, Wells, and the injured Marco Scutaro had the best offensive numbers against the Orioles on the season. 2-2 delivery on the way, and he had to reach for that one. Hendrickson's got the comebacker, finds the handle, and gets the out. 1-2-3 inning for the Orioles left-hander. We go to the bottom half of the 5th. The O's are on top, 5-2.
Get on top. Blocked right there as Ruiz, who singled one of the 3 consecutive hits. The Orioles will get back on the board. Fiorentino up the middle for the first run. Montes scores, and then right here Brian Roberts, a couple of strikeouts early on, but the Orioles would come back with 4 runs in the 4th inning. And there you go. Richmond leaves as Carter will come on. Mark Hendrickson still chugging along. Once again, he gives up the hits, doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. It keeps the club in the game. Ricardo comes in, and last year one of the closers for this team, hard throwing righty. Kind of interesting numbers for him. He gets lefties out real well, or actually kind of interesting. Lefties are only hitting 139, righties at 381. So you don't see those numbers very often.
Telly's been to Vegas, so look at the color of that glove. He went to a Cirque du Soleil show, and that was the door prize. Wow. Sometimes if players complain, the colored gloves are not permitted and will be removed if there's an objection.
I think the buckskin ones are the ones that are very light.
White ones, yeah.
I always wanted to pitch. I mean, I enjoyed the fact I always played for the Orioles, but I wanted to play for the A's when they had the white shoes. Size 14s, throw it up there in the air, throw it right out of your foot.
Never see the ball.
Never see the ball.
Never see it. Nope. Here is Matt Wieters. Wieters has struck out twice in the ball game. Jeremy Accardo gets him on a swinging strike. Accardo up and down 3 times with a big club. Recalled last on the 8th of September from Vegas, his 3rd stint with a team that's bullpen went to pieces. Last year their ERA was the best bullpen number in the majors at 2.94. This year they are 19th at 4.13. And therein lies a major part of the story for this team this season. That is a dramatic downturn.
And then they lost 3 starters. So you got to go to your bullpen more often. As we mentioned, it was Roy Halladay and a bunch of youngsters early on. And it worked early until they, I mean, their first 41 games, only 3 games against American League East. That was the Orioles. And then all of a sudden, you hit a wall.
The East.
Yeah, makes a difference. 30 saves back in 2007 for Jeremy Accardo. They got him from the Giants.
Wells takes the pitch, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. And as the Orioles have gotten the starter Scott Richmond out of there, 5 runs, 7 hits, 4 innings. He walked 2 and struck out 5. Orioles are looking for their first win ever against him. Wieters on a swing and a miss, and a 3-ball, 2-strike count on the Oriole catcher. Dave Tremblay with Melvin Moore out of the lineup. Melvin will be in tomorrow. Could be the last game he plays as an Oriole. at third base, expected to start on the final game of the season. Wieters 3-2, and he gets jammed and fights it off. It'll stay at a full count.
Yeah, he's got that cutting fastball. That's what he threw him, 3-1, and right there, you don't want to take it because it's too close, and then you rip it foul.
Wieters against Toronto, done pretty well. He's got a .306 average against them, couple of home runs, 7 RBIs on the year. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that one down the line. Snyder had a reach back, but he got it, and one away in the 5th. The Orioles and Oriole wives have teamed up with the Maryland SPCA for a special souvenir, the 2010 Orioles Pet Calendar. 16 months of your favorite Oriole players, pets, lovable dogs and cats from the SPCA. Proceeds benefit the Maryland SPCA and their work with local homeless pets. To get your Orioles Pet Calendar, visit Orioles.com today. Make a great stocking stuffer, don't you think, John?
Yes.
That ball hit in the air to right center field and way back at the wall. Not quite. Markakis gave it a ride. Wells got there, 2 down.
We're talking to Adam Jones behind the cage today after he did his color analyst job last night for an inning or so. He was terrific. But he was talking about how it gets out to about almost 390 at the AT&T sign out in right center here at Camden Yards. So if you're going to hit it over there, you better really hit it. So Nick hit it well, but not well enough. Ball just goes out and pull it over about 20 feet. And little souvenir for some fans.
Ty Wigginton, and he takes the pitch. Wigginton has delivered an RBI and a single. He has flied out. RBIs picked up by Roberts. Wigginton, 2 for Fiorentino, and an RBI by Rodriguez for the Orioles' 5-2 lead in the ballgame. That will miss outside. Accardo, and the count goes to 2-0. Outfield playing him to pull. 2-0 delivery. Fouled off the other way, and a 2-ball 1-strike count. Final day tomorrow. 1:35 first pitch. Jeremy Guthrie on the mound against Ricky Romero to wrap up the 09 regular season. I hope you'll get out. Fan Appreciation Weekend will continue tomorrow. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Wiggy will take that one outside, and it goes to 3-1. Dave Tremblay out as he has been. Part of Fan Appreciation work, signing autographs for the ball game down the lines, as have a number of the players, since they've been coming in a little later and have time to do that. 3-1 delivery on the way. Wigginton lines it center field. Wells back. Wells looking. Boy, was that tagged. It'll be a ground rule double. A screaming yellow Mimi by Wigginton.
Yeah, Brendan Wells plays relatively shallow, with the premise being that with his speed, 1-3 Gold Gloves, you can get the most balls. Not this one. This ball just hammered over his head. Ground rule double.
Ty Wigginton continues with a very strong finish. Orioles Expo Camp brought to you by Famous Dave's Real Honest Barbecue. Ty Wigginton on with a 2-bagger at second base against Accardo with 2 down. Aubrey's going to get another RBI opportunity for the O's.
You didn't, by the way, you didn't take that Famous Dave barbecue they brought up home last night or anything, did you?
Karen did.
Karen did.
We gave it to Karen.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She looked hungry last night after the game, and the kids are home and everything, so it's the weekend. We don't want her cooking.
That's why you are who you are.
That's exactly right. The pitch is taken up high for a ball. So you were going to accuse me of taking the barbecue.
Well, it disappeared.
Well, of course it disappeared. Don't leave it here all night. No?
That's a good point.
A good point. Point well taken. I didn't take it home. I gave it to Karen.
Been a good idea.
Michael Aubrey, runner at second base. Ball hit in the air to left field. Snyder. And Aubrey's retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. Orioles lead it 5-2. Log on to www.massonsports.com. Click on Sarasota Beyond the Beaches. It's the banner for details on a chance to win a 3-day, 3-night trip for 2 to Sarasota, Florida. You will love the beaches there. If you like to shop, they have some tremendous shopping arcades. St. Armand's Circle, perhaps the most well-known, right off Lido Beach, right outside over one of the bridges from downtown Sarasota.
Been there quite often.
I'm sure you spent a good.
Well, no, the Orioles, and they hope to have it in 2010 when the stadium is done, the fantasy camp. So we would always have it. Be running amok in Sarasota, great town.
Yeah. Cal's going to have his camp there, so it'll be a lot of activity going on. Great place to visit. Mark Hendrickson's got the lead, 5-2 in the ball game. That's going to be up the middle. Brian Roberts ran right up his arm, and not in time. Barajas is on. Roberts got there, and the ball just went right off the glove and up his arm.
Yeah, anytime you have to backhand a ball, and again, look at that, right off the dirt, and it comes up. He's out on the grass, and even though Barajas doesn't run well, it's a difficulty in backhanding a ball. It's very difficult to always get it in the pocket.
It'll be an error charge.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. You know, Davey Johnson, when he played for the Orioles, he would always do that, and they'd always give him a hit. And then Earl Weaver told him, because he wanted Davey to get in front of that ball. I don't think Brian could have gotten in front of that one. He said, just start giving him errors. That'll get him to get in front of him. And Davey started getting in front of him. But just think about it. Every time you go to your right and the ball comes up and it's a base hit, well, why would you ever want to get it?
Well, not me personally.
No. I'm just talking about if you were an infielder.
Okay. Fouled away by Ruiz.
Yeah, because Davey wasn't going to listen to Earl, but he listened to the score. Didn't like those errors.
Didn't want to see those big scores going up. Leadoff man on here in the 6th inning. Orioles' first error of the ball game for either team. Ruiz has had a single, scored on a balk, and it's hit into a fielder's choice. We'll foul that one back. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
That appeared to me to be a play that the scorer said, you know what, it wasn't an ordinary play. It's just that Barajas doesn't run well, so all of a sudden you're going to maybe give him the error because of that. But that was a tough play. It wasn't routine going to your right.
Fastball is going to be taken up high. 2-ball, 2-strike count.
I saw Clay Meredith. He pitched 2 innings and 2 good innings down on Wednesday. He said, well, why not stay out there for a second inning if the sinker's sinking? And it was in Tampa Bay.
Hendrickson has worked 6 innings each of his last 2 games on a great off-speed breaking ball.
Well, if you looked in the encyclopedia under pitcher tonight, that's what Mark Hendrickson done. He's changed speeds. He's made the big pitch, the right pitch, the appropriate pitch, and executed it well. Big home run guy. 10 home runs and a little over 107 at bats.
Strikeout number 3 for the Oriole left-hander. That'll bring up Kevin Millar. Millar with a single and has been called out on strikes. 1 down, runner at first base. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball. Orioles up by 3. We're in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, Mr. Millar has one thing on his mind. Pull it and hit it hard.
And the pitch is in there for a strike to him. Again, the off-speed pitch, which has these Jays hitters very much off balance. They watch him go by. Millar's had pretty good numbers against the Orioles going with Toronto this year. 9 for 24. He's hit over 390 against the O's. 1 home run, 7 RBIs against his former team. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Barajas not going anywhere at first base. Short lead. 2-1 delivery. Millar down to third. Taylor made. Wigginton. Roberts. Albert. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on base. Orioles leading 5-2.
center fielder B.J. Upton hit for the cycle last night against the Yankees. He was the first Ray to ever hit for the cycle. Also, the Padres have fired their general manager, Kevin Towers. Also, as we have mentioned, J.P. Ricciardi has also been fired as GM of the Blue Jays. And there will be no 20-game winners this season, only for the second time this decade. The last time that happened was 2006. And before I throw back to Gary and Jim, it's my last game. I'll be doing Ravens Extra tomorrow. Be sure to tune in to Masson for that after the Ravens game. And Gary and Jim, it's been wonderful working with you guys. Always a pleasure. And to everybody in the truck, our crew, thank you so much. They make us look good, and we know that's not an easy job. Gary?
Well, actually, for you, it's a fairly easy job. Trying to make us look good on the other end. Amber's just been it's been great fun. Have a great football season.
Yeah, good luck to the Ravens.
Yeah, good luck to the Ravens.
You'll be better if they win.
It's always easier when they win. I'll tell you that.
You'll be smiling more. Yeah. Have a great season. Thanks. 0-1 count here. Ricardo doing the pitching, second inning. Montanez has had a double and a single so far in the ball game.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, Amber. I don't know if there's anybody better for what she does.
Great gal.
Yeah.
Wedding coming up and everything. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that is taken outside for a ball. 2-1.
Every time I see her working out, I go, "You're getting married. What do you need to work out for? Doesn't matter what you look like."
See, that's my attitude. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem to go over very big. I go over pretty big, but. And taken in the air, right center field. It's playable for Bautista, and he's got it. Montanez is retired, one away. See, the key is if you see, like Amber works out in a lot of the clubs at the hotels. So if you walk in and you see her working out, leave. That's what I do. Just leave immediately. That way you don't have to look bad. And you wait till she's done, then you go in.
I've never even seen you walk in.
Well.
Well, not that you don't work
You're
out.
You're there when Amber's working out, and I'm not going in there.
Well, why wouldn't I want to be there when Amber works out?
Well, let me see. What's your wife's first name?
Susan. Susan knows Amber.
I know.
Amber's going to get married.
You said that 3 times.
I know that. Well, you actually said it first.
Okay. Here's Jeff Fiorentino. And takes the pitch down low for a ball. Fiorentino's got a couple of RBIs, one on a single and one on a fielder's choice. One ball, one strike count. Ricardo got it in. Second base, short hop, Hill. That's the beauty of second. Yep. If you can knock it down, you got a pretty good chance of getting the out. And there are 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Now the White Sox lead it 4-0. Quinton the home run. The Tigers, if they lose, will be tied for first with the Twins going into the final day of the regular season tomorrow. Minnesota beat Kansas City 5-4.
What an amazing run.
It is. That'll be taken outside for a ball. Rodriguez is hit into a double play and picked up an RBI and a ground ball out. The scheduled starters, if they have to play tomorrow in a game that matters: John Danks for the White Sox and Justin Verlander, 18-9 for the Tigers. 2-0 delivery down low. Kansas City, Luke Hochevar would go against Brian Dunsing of the Minnesota Twins. Now, of course, in a game like that, virtually everybody's available because you got to win.
Yeah,
if
Dunsing,
it comes to that.
Yeah, Dunsing had a great September until he lost to the Tigers.
Pitch will be taken for a strike.
Young left-hander. Pitched the last game of '82. Did not pitch that well. I mean, didn't pitch horribly, but it didn't pitch that well. It gets you thinking a little bit. I mean, everything's on the line. I mean, spring training, every game from April all the way. Chance to get to the playoffs.
A walk surrendered and 2 down.
No bigger game than that.
I mean, that's it. I mean, it's all right there. So it rarely happens in sports where you get those games. It's the Game 7 situation where that's it. You win, you got it. You lose, you're gone. Now they're not there yet. Tigers can still come back tonight. They got 4 innings to work with, but they're down 4-0. Tigers' magic number is 1.
And it was Freddie Garcia who came in at 2 and 4, pitching for the White Sox.
Yeah.
You know, who's not had one of those years. He pretty much rehabbed his arm all year long. If the White Sox have a pretty good bullpen, and you know Ozzie Guillen, because they don't have a great relationship, the White Sox and the Tigers. He wants to make it real difficult.
Yep. Brian Roberts, a 1-0 runner at first base. Brian had an RBI single last time up, 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts in the ball game. The Orioles rebounding from a 2-0 deficit, with the Jays getting a couple of runs in the second inning off Mark Hendrickson, and that's it. They only have those 2. The Orioles got 1 back in the second, and then the big 4-run, 4-hit 4th inning. Accardo, 1-1 delivery. Roberts gets ahead on the count, 2-1. Another one of the great accomplishments this year, Ryan Howard, Philadelphia. He now has 639 RBIs in the first 5 years in the majors. It is the 3rd highest number for any player ever. He passed Ted Williams in the ballgame last night for 3rd all-time RBIs first 5 years of a career. 2-1 to Roberts. The only people ahead of him, Joe DiMaggio, 691. And Hal Trosky, 663.
It's a combination of a very, very good young player and a great place to hit, at least for half your games.
Yep.
Doesn't mean obviously automatically you can do it, or everybody would do it. But he can play. He's a big, powerful guy. He came up, was real good, had to make some adjustments, and adjusted.
And had a great second half.
Yeah.
Brian Roberts able to wait that out. So Accardo, 2 walk. Let's take a look at a little baseball history here on this Saturday night. On this date, one of the great plays of all time, Bobby Thompson, the shot heard around the world. The Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. The call you hear repeatedly that broke the hearts of Dodger fans. And in 1974, Frank Robinson became the first black manager in Major League Baseball history. He did it signing as both manager and player with the Cleveland Indians. 74.
Yeah, boy, what a difference he made to this franchise. When he came over in 1966, the Orioles went to their first World Series. He was a Triple Crown winner, an old 30.
Yeah.
Boy, the Orioles, would they like that? I was thinking of that last night. Boy, how he changed the climate of everything. And it all started in an inter-squad game. He was a couple days late to spring training. We had a guy named had a right-handed pitcher, bonus kid that we had drafted, Steve Cosgrove, and he threw him. He hit his curveball that literally looked like it fell off the table. He throws him that. Frank gets fooled a little bit, keep the bat back, doubles off the chalk. And I turned to Dick Hall, and I was 20 years old at the time, and I said, I think we just won the pennant. And we did. You know, he had 49 home runs, 2 in the World Series, set the tone. And I think Dave Tremblay was talking about Brian Roberts and Mark Kakis. Your guys set the tone for the way everybody played. And we had some great players. You know, Brooks Robinson had won an MVP, but Frank just had a little kind of a harder tone to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brooksy just kind of nice guide you to the Hall of Fame. And Frank was, if you were an infielder, he was going to fairly, the way you play the game, take you into left field, or if you were a second baseman, into short right field, because he played the game that way. And then, of course, Don Baylor learned from him. Reggie Jackson learned from him.
Great
player you need. Oh, yeah, he could play the game as well as anybody that I ever played with or played against.
And the Orioles hope they have one of those kinds of players that will do that next season and ratcheting things up. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Izturis. Izturis a single, 1 for 3, 2 on, 2 down. Fouls that one away. Pitching coach out to have a word with Accardo here as he got 2 outs and then walked 2 batters to put Rodriguez and Roberts on base.
Well, you have 30 saves, and then he had the forearm problems last year, so he didn't get to pitch as regular. Boy, but when he came up after he'd been traded to the Giants, he was in the middle 90s. Doesn't throw quite as hard as that now, but he's got the blue glove.
1-2 delivery off the end of the bat into the screen.
Cesar Izturis is swinging the bat from this side of the plate as well as he has all year long. I mean, that's a pretty good pitch, and he just flicked it foul. Hopes to get a better pitch to hit here.
Izturis driving in runs as well as finishing up strong. He had a big night last night. 3 for 5, a couple of walks. That one is a base hit into the corner. That will score Rodriguez. Brian Roberts will be held up. Throw to second. It is a double, an RBI, and a 6-2 lead for the O's.
Well, we were talking about it the other night about how 1 year, when you talked about Brian Vernon Wells last year hitting 330 whatever against lefties, hitting 205, 305 hitter with the Dodgers, hitting from this side of the plate. You know, this year been a struggle to get it up to 230, 240. Turns on that fastball into the corner. Get one of those add-on runs to make it a little more comfortable for the Orioles pitching staff.
That's 30 RBIs for Izturis on the year.
And that runners in scoring position average goes up probably over 280. That's a pretty good number. Yeah.
Matt Wieters with a big chance now. He's had an 0 for 3. Matt on a pitch tailing away. He has struck out twice and flied out. 5-game hit streak that he has not been able to extend so far in the ball game. He's picked up 9 hits in his last 24 at bats, hitting safely in 15 of the last 17 ball games. 0-1 count on Wieters, and that'll be in the dirt. Barajas able to block it. Orioles now have picked up 6 runs on 9 hits in the game. The Orioles came into the ball game last night struggling to get runs and hits, as they had only 7 runs over the previous 3 games. They had 4 extra base hits in the last 3. Last night they got 13 runs and 5 extra base hits, and they are continuing that here in the ball game tonight. Here's the 1-1. Wieters down to first. That is a foul ball by just that much.
Yep, the bat just getting quicker as the season progresses because he gets more comfortable. You look at his numbers, the advantage, I guess, of being a switch hitter, breaking ball, other than the screwballs always coming towards you. 29 hits coming into the night to left, 38 up the middle, 35 to right field. What balance? And again, most of his home runs the other way.
He can pick up a couple of RBIs right here. With 2 down, runners will be going. Roberts, lead runner, and Izturis on at second base. 1-2 delivery from Accardo. Looped to left. Snyder with time to get over and makes the catch. But the Orioles add another. The RBI double by Izturis, and the O's extend their lead to 4. Symphony Hall, a tribute to Brooks Robinson. It's on Monday, October 26th. Tickets $55 for the program, $105 for the program, and the special pre-event cocktail reception. Proceeds will benefit the Sports Legends Museum, and $5 from each ticket will go to the American Cancer Society. 410-727-1539, extension 3033. Now the Orioles on top and adding to it. 6-9-1 for the O's, 2-5-0 for the Jays. We go to the 7th inning. Mark Hendrickson has walked 2 and struck out 3. The chance for his 6th win. He has worked 6 innings each of the last 2 games, and he goes into the 7th inning here. 6 is the longest he's worked on the season. He gets the ground ball. As Torres up, McDonald's retired. 1 pitch and 1 out.
And the bigger picture for him, who's really pitched well his last 2 starts, had one since the 10th of April, as you talked about earlier, Gary. I mean, this would be a great way because he's had an outstanding year for him. Starting was a little bit tough. Again, we talked about maybe the back not feeling as well, maybe not as comfortable as a starter, to be honest. And then he went to the bullpen, and he got it together. He has pitched terrific, and he picked them up when they really needed somebody to step in and start for him the last maybe 3 weeks.
Trying to get it done here tonight, and well on his way. Snyder, the number 9 hitter, left fielder, is singled and has a sacrifice fly. Snyder's gone 6 for 25 against the Orioles this year. He's picked up a homer, 6 RBIs, and he's got another base hit right there. Markakis into the corner. Snyder on his way to second. He will go in with a stand-up double with 1 down in the 7th inning.
Yeah, pretty good night for the 21-year-old outfielder. Talking that he comes from about, 45 minutes north of Seattle. The sacrifice fly, single double. And he gets to the big leagues. Came up early, got sent back down. Trying to show him that he'll belong in 2010.
He wants to stay next year with the big club, and they are hoping that he's going to be one of their quality young players that will make the team. Runner on at second base to the leadoff batter, Bautista. He takes the breaking ball. He's popped out twice and flied out. 7-game hit streak for him with the 0 for 3 tonight. Now 3 for 14 lifetime off Mark Hendrickson. This is a chance for the Jays to get back into the ball game here in the 7th with only 1 away. And a chance for Hendrickson to shut it down. Floats like a butterfly. Just missed with that one, and a 2-0 count.
Now you are 1 swing from getting back in. You do have the sinker baller. Looks like Meredith, who's up throwing again, is ready.
Bautista 300 off lefties, 198 off right-handers. Here's the 2-0 delivery on the way, and that pitch is taken and missed, and the count goes to 3-0.
With those numbers, it wasn't too hard of a decision to match up.
Maybe closing in or on his last batter here.
Well, they hadn't thrown this many pitches.
Yeah.
88. This will be the 89th pitch.
3-0 delivery on the way and missed outside. 3rd walk. That puts 2 on here in the 7th inning with only 1 away, and the heart of the order coming up, and that will be it for Mark Hendrickson.
Yeah, the heart of the order with 36 home runs. The real heart of the order.
So Hendrickson will be responsible for the 2 who are on base. A fine start for him, though, with 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He's given up the 2 runs on 6 hits. Clay Meredith will be coming on, and the fans will give him a standing ovation out. his 6th victory and just his 2nd as a starter. 6 hits over 6 1/3 and responsible for the 2 base runners.
Yeah, what you hope if you're Dave Tremblay is that Meredith, who has pitched very well down in Tampa Bay and in Cleveland, that the bullpen doesn't do what they have done in his last 2 starts. 5-2 lead, 6-3 lead, both of them. The leads were given up. Orioles didn't win those ball games.
So Clay Meredith will try and do his part here. It's his 4th outing against the Jays this year. He's only worked 2 innings against them, a run on 2 hits. And Meredith, with runners on at 1st and 2nd and 1 out, will face Aaron Hill. Hill is 0 for 3 in the ball game, 1 for 6 in the first 2 games of this series, but he's 3rd in home runs, 5th in RBIs, and a power-laden number 2 hitter in this lineup.
And what you hope, he's a high ball hitter, that Meredith will execute his pitches, keep it down, and he does. And then you hope that, you have to understand, at .330 on base percentage, you know, like 39 walks and over 670 at bats. Aaron Hill's not up there to walk. He's a very aggressive hitter.
0-2 delivery way outside. He has hit .270 against the Orioles with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. Left-hander Alberto Castillo loosening in the pen. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Hill. And the runners will go back to the bag on the step off here. After there was 1 away, Snyder got the double. He's at 2nd. Bautista drew the walk. He's on at 1st. 1-2 delivery to Hill. Again trying to get him to chase a pitch. He would not. It is outside. Aaron Hill 0 for 2 in the only times he has faced Clay Meredith. Two delivery. Want that one off to hold the count.
Aaron Hill, and former #1 draft choice out of LSU. And again, the concussion last year, collision with David Epstein, and lost for the year. And he was a good player. I don't know if I ever imagined 36 home runs. What a year. All-star for the Jays.
He will take that one to the other way, right field. They're going to wave the runner home. Markakis up. Here's the throw, and it will not be in time, as Snyder will cross from 2nd. An RBI single for Hill, and it is a 6-3 ball game.
Yeah, I don't think Nick thought he was going to come home. So he was just going to come in and make sure the runner doesn't get to 3rd base. And then, of course, he has to go to his right. So right there, Brian Roberts. That's a throw against the grain. The ball tails. Not a long throw, but a difficult angle.
So the Jays are right back in it here as they add a run and get the potential tying run to the plate. Encarnacion is 0 for 2, and he has drawn a walk, 1st and 2nd, still only 1 out. And the pitch will be inside for a ball.
Well, the modern day starter, you're only as good as how many runs they give you and whether your bullpen can come in and hold the lead if you have one.
Encarnacion's 3 for 5 with a home run off Meredith. Down to 3rd base, got a force at the bag, but he's got to come in. Only play at 1st. Nice backhand. Aubrey into the danger territory, and to catch that on the inside part of the bag into the runner. But he got it done. 2 down.
Well, there was a Baltimore kid by the name of Jim Spencer, the late Jim Spencer, who was such a good fielding first baseman. And right here, you know, not a hard play because Wigginton doesn't have to come that hard, doesn't play a lot of 3rd, but look how smooth Aubrey is. Well, again, they're just able to anticipate it. Footwork is, I mean, very gifted first baseman.
He has the natural footwork at 1st.
Dancing with the stars right there, as far as playing 1st.
So key moment in the ball game. Vernon Wells, 2 on and 2 down, 2 in scoring position. A 6-3 Orioles lead. Meredith trying to get out of it right here. Wells has not faced him before. Casey Jensen in the bullpen. That's going to miss outside. 2-0 count on Wells. No, house on deck.
They actually called that a strike. A late strike, yes.
Wow, 1-1.
Inside middle. That's what Vernon Wells is looking for. Trying to turn on it.
Got that one on the outside part of the plate. Brian Roberts up, makes the play, and gets the out. Meredith works his way out, a run in. Orioles still have a 3-run lead. 7th inning stretch brought to you by of 6-3, and credit due to Mark Hendrickson. 3 quality outings as a starter after coming out of the bullpen. Another one here tonight, and it really would be a great way for him to finish, as you said, Jim, to get a W as a starter.
Yeah, he's done a very nice job for him, and he lives about 45 minutes up the road, just across the Pennsylvania line in York, Pennsylvania. So said he'd like to come back. Certainly has done a nice job in a number of capacities. So again, he could be a spot starter. He pitched very well in the bullpen. And as far as tonight, would like that 5-game losing scheme as a starter. It's up to the bullpen. That and maybe get some more runs as Casey Jansen's going to come in and pitch for Toronto.
Orioles have been able to do a pretty good job here in getting these runs in the last 2 ball games against this bullpen of the Jays. We'll see if they can keep it up. The Jays bullpen has been very vulnerable, as you said, compared to what they put up last year. So while you got them down, go after them.
Yeah, and what they've been able to do is to get some clutch hits, not only but I think especially with 2 outs. You got Fiorentino hit the curveball up the middle. You got Brian Roberts, after striking out the first time, was able to, off of Scotch Richmond, hit a curveball back up the middle, score another run. So a lot of clutch hitting, and they've sprayed the ball all over the field as we look at Casey Jansen.
Jansen will be working to Nick Markakis, Ty Wigginton, and Michael Aubrey as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Final line on Mark Hendrickson: 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 1/3. He walked 3 and struck out 3. Accardo worked a couple of innings, gave up a run on 2 hits. He had 2 walks out of the Jays bullpen. Now Casey Jansen, 3rd pitcher used, and it'll be taken down low. Markakis, a double and a run scored, 1 for 2 and a walk. Pushing that .292 average, looking for that RBI, which would be number 100 on the season for him. Jansen's delivery to him is going to miss up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Casey Jansen, 8 runs in his last 13 innings over 15 games, so that's a high ERA.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Floated away to Markakis, and it'll go to 2-1. They're trying to get on here. The Orioles trying to get an inning started. He is 3 for 8 against this right-hander out of the pen, Jansen.
Yeah, last year labrum surgery, didn't pitch at all last year.
In the air to right, Bautista. We hope you will join Melvin and Giselle Moore in their support of the Mount Washington Pediatric Hospital at the Melvin and Giselle Moore Charity Golf Tournament. It's coming up on Tuesday at the renowned Bully Rock Golf Course in Havre de Grace. The registration will begin at 7:30, a shotgun start at 9. For details, 410-578-5040. That's going to be on Tuesday. Off-speed delivery, swung on and missed. Ty Wigginton, very worthy cause. Wigginton has had a double, single RBI, and a run scored. Another big ball game for Ty Wigginton. A 5-game hit streak for Ty. 23,254. 23,254 the announced attendance for the ball game tonight, and they've seen a good ball game and a beautiful evening.
Well, what a day today. I mean, incredible weather. 74, 75, and pretty much a sunny, cloudless day here in Baltimore. Everywhere you go.
Down low. Fells Point was just loaded today with the fun festival going on over there.
Oh, is that why all the streets were closed? Yeah.
Yes.
And you were?
I was walking around eating, as I usually am.
Yeah. Having fun, taking advantage of the fun festival.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, why not?
The farmers market.
And everywhere you go. We're in St. Petersburg. It was a Chamber of Commerce day, as you mentioned the other day. And then you come here, the weather turns, clears, full moon, Bella Luna.
Is that a restaurant or a term?
Well, it is a restaurant, but it's also Moonstruck.
Yes,
one of my favorite movies.
Looks like the open to the Jackie Gleason show right there. Na 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 na. Grounded to short. Here's McDonald. Wigginton is retired, and 2 away in the 7th inning.
You mean like the Honeymooners? That Jackie Gleason show, or the one that used to film?
Either one. They had the moon. The Honeymooners had the moon shot, right?
See, that's back in the day, because when I came in today, and you were talking about everybody, Danny Violet getting loose for the Orioles, there were a lot of people, so I went over and signed some autographs, and I said, well, you're going to have to earn these. So let's do a series of questions. Who are the 420 game winners? I had it, well, and then I said, who was the last guy to hit 50 home runs? I had to help him with that, too, Brady Anderson. So one little kid really wanted an autograph. I said, why don't you come up with a question that you know the answer to? And then I'll sign the ball. So he comes up with a question. He doesn't know the answer to the question.
Now that's really making him earn it.
I know. So I gave him an autograph anyway. Oh, it was amazing.
You're such a good guy.
Oh, there we go. That was him.
There he is, right
there. There he is. See? That's right. Everything's okay. You got the autograph. You're right.
1 ball, 1 strike count on Aubrey. 2 down, nobody on here in the 7th inning. Aubrey walked and scored in the 4th. Brian Roberts, RBI single. Izturis, RBI double. Wigginton, RBI single. 2 RBIs, Fiorentino. And Rodriguez with an RBI and a ground ball out. 1-2 delivery on the way off the fists and back.
Well, Casey Janssen, he came up about, 2006. It was a starter. And the next year they moved to the bullpen, 70 games. And actually, it seems like when he is healthy, and again the labrum tear, so he's working his way back into being physically fit. Everything moves, cuts it. You saw the curveball.
Only the 2nd time the Orioles have seen Jansen this season. 1-2 delivery, that'll be fought off. And Aubrey holds the count at a ball and 2 strikes. If the Orioles can win this, they'll be 8-9 against the Jays. And tomorrow, Tremblay, Markakis and company will have a chance to even up the series on the year and finish up, if they can hold this lead, finish up maybe with a sweep. 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Jansen's delivery right back through the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. The feet could not stop that one, and that's a 2-out single.
Yeah, Michael Aubrey, talking to him today, I mean, he had the big day, 6 RBIs, 2 home runs, 1 in the Grand Slam, and of course the former 1st-round draft choice. And he said, I had all those injuries and kind of gave up on me, because he said, you signed in 2004 and you don't get well to 2007. And he said he got to play this year. He's playing all right, but maybe not enough power numbers for him. But he can definitely pick it at first, and he
can hit line drives.
Yes, he can.
Montanez up. You look at what you're talking about, Jim, with him, with the games that he didn't play. It's probably one of those players. He didn't play for virtually 3 years. He comes back last year, puts up some pretty decent numbers, and a team goes, that may be the best we're ever going to get. Let's move him while we can. Yeah, it really, you just look at it, and the story, it just leaps out at you that that's what happened with him. And maybe to the benefit of the Orioles. And
he wasn't one of those prototypical 1st-round hitters out of college with aluminum bats that hit for a lot of power. He said he was a gap hitter. So he was had a solid hitting approach, but usually with your 1st-round guys, you expect at some point they're going to really hit for power. Well, he has in the last 10 days, 12 days. He's hit 4 home runs for the Orioles. It's a nice little run.
0-2 delivery to Montanez will be taken down low, blocked again. Montanez with a double and a single, 2 for 3 in the ball game. He's had 3 hits and 7 at bats in this series, as the Orioles try and get more against Jansen, the reliever. 2 down here. Montanez getting his first look at this right-hander. 1-2 delivery to him. That is way outside. Another slider, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th. White Sox 4, Detroit nothing. 2 ball, 2 strike count. San Diego, rather Colorado and LA play tonight. They've got a game that'll get underway in about 40 minutes. 2-2 delivery. That is swung on and missed. So Jansen gets the strikeout. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. The Orioles still leading. The kid has that ball available on eBay, by the way. Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Mark Hendrickson, the 35-year-old left-hander, starting, and a chance to win his 6th game of the season. 3 strikeouts, getting 1 on Millar, getting another on the high strike call, and then getting 1 on a swinging strike, Ruiz. Mark Hendrickson out of the ball game, and now Meredith is as well. 6-3, the Orioles have the lead. We go to the 8th inning. Clay Meredith worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, and here's Danny Baez.
Yeah, Danny Baez, who just turned 32 in early September on the 10th, pitched very well when the Orioles broke that 13-game losing streak. And you look at all these numbers, the lowest out of the bullpen, the lowest batting average against any of the Orioles bullpenners, Danny Baez. I actually think that he is going to be sought after because his stuff's that good. He actually, I think, for a lot of teams could close for this team if he re-signs here.
In May.
Yeah.
May.
I mean, you just never know. I can't make that decision, but the type of year, he had a couple of bad games. He had the 3-run home run up in Philly to Ryan Howard, who you talked about, and then he had the grand slam to Hanley Ramirez down in Florida.
That one's going to be blooped to second base. Brian Roberts. Barajas retired on 1 pitch in the 8th inning.
But when he's on his game, his stuff is electric, and the arm is healthy. He's proved he can pitch in back-to-back games this year. It took a while. Dave Tremblay, the one thing he talked about handling young players, he handled an older player coming off Tommy John surgery with kid gloves early on. And if you're Danny, you got to thank him the way the Orioles brought him back.
Ruiz fouls it away. Well, I don't think there's any question the likes of Danny Baez.
Look at that, 98.
Yeah, most of them. If you can get them into the situations that they're supposed to be in to pitch, I think the Baez type pitchers will get it done for the O's. That will all depend on the starters. Wigginton Ruiz is retired. 2 down, 8th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates tonight. Speaking of which, Ty Wigginton. He's got a double, single RBI and a run scored. As Torres, the shortstop, again at the plate. Double, single and an RBI scored. And Hendrickson. 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 in the 3rd innings. Text in your vote A, B, or C to 518-62.
I mean, Danny Baez already in his career for Tampa Bay 30 and 41 saves in consecutive years.
He will be an interesting player that's going to be considered by the Orioles and others in the offseason. Millar 3 for 10 with a home run, lifetime off Baez. Takes the strike. Former Oriole is singled in this ball game, struck out and hit into a double play. Kevin at just 224 on the season. 0-2 count on him. Baez looking for the 1-2-3 inning here. And that'll be up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right back at you tomorrow afternoon to wrap up the year. Final ball game. 1:35 first pitch. Jeremy Guthrie, Ricky Romero. 1 o'clock goes extra. 1:30 for the game. 1-2 delivered. Takes it up high. 2 ball, 2 strike count for Baez. Orioles hang on and get this win, and that ugly 3-digit loss prospect will be no more. 2-2 and a fly ball, shallow right. Roberts back. Markakis in. Roberts wants it, and he's got it. So Baez does retire the side in order. We go to the bottom half of the 8th here at Camden Yards. 6-3 O's. Comebacks of the season for the Orioles. They defeated the Red Sox. They were down by 9 runs. There was a rain delay. Red Sox thought the game was over when they took off with the rain delay. They tried to get an inning done with 2 outs and didn't. And then the magic came. And the Orioles' bats came alive. One of only 2 games the Orioles would win against the Red Sox. An 11-10 comeback with Sherrill still with the ball club finishing it off. A monster win. Part of the 09 season for the O's. Brandon League is on the mound now to do the pitching.
Yeah, power arm. Lefties 263, righties at 246. On a roll, only 2 earned runs his last 15 innings pitched. That's over 13 games. Always came up throwing close to 100 miles per hour. Born in Sacramento, but it lives in Hawaii.
Fiorentino's got to get a base hit off him on the first pitch. That's his second hit of the ball game.
What an approach. He does what he does best, doesn't overswing. You speed up his bat with a breaking ball, he'll do what he did earlier in the game. Hit it up the middle like he did in Tampa Bay for an RBI. This time, foot down, let the ball travel, slice it into left.
14 hits for the Orioles last night, 11 hits so far in this game. That's number 11 right there. And he's had 2 singles, RBI, and a run scored for Fiorentino. Rodriguez off the plate and foul. Rodriguez doing the catching, batting ninth for the O's. Walked and scored in the sixth. Had an RBI and a ground ball out, and is hit into a double play. The Orioles up here 6-3, trying to add one or more in the bottom half of the eighth inning.
Well, you have good speed at first, Gary. 15 steals down at AAA this year, and you can see a pretty sizable lead.
League with that high set. There he goes. The delivery is down low. Throw's going to be a one-hopper. Skips into center field. Backed up by McDonald, and Fiorentino's got a stolen base.
Well, this is what you have to do. I mean, not only this year to try to add a run, but 2010 when you have guys that can run. I mean, your advanced guys should tell you how quick a guy is to the plate. That's what their job is. You can anticipate who's at first for you. Can he run? Almost takes one in the dome. Aaron Hill saying, boy, only 2 more games. It's been a long year for him in spite of how good it's been for him.
2 for 2 stolen bases. Now he's in scoring position. League's delivery is going to miss outside. Rodriguez, a 2-ball 1-strike count. Brian Roberts waiting on deck. Orioles get a chance with nobody out.
And he should be taking a shot to right field right here. Advance the runner.
Brandon League 2-1 delivery on the way, and indeed he does. League will make the easy flip to Millar for the out. Rodriguez gets the productive out. Fiorentino to third. 1 away.
That's pretty nice at bat right there.
He fought it off, intending to go that way, and did. And sets Brian Roberts up because the infield now is going to move in. The infield in with 1 away. Fiorentino on at third base. Brian Roberts has 1 RBI in the ball game, adding to his totals on the season, and Brian's got another chance. He is 1 for 3 with a walk. Roberts 1 for 7 off League. Fouls it away. 1-strike count. Jim Johnson set to go in the pen. It is a save situation for the moment. Orioles get another run, and it won't be.
Yeah, the interview before the game, Jim Johnson just said he'd like to end this season. So whether it's a save or not, got one the other night, giving up a run and 3 hits, and a 2-run lead. And it ended with the Orioles losing or stopping that streak at 13.
A cue shot right there, and a 2-strike count on Brian Roberts.
Well, they had the timeline in the Baltimore Sun today when Dave Tremblay took over for Sammy Palazzo. They lost 12-6. When they named him going to be the permanent manager, they lost 30-3. So I got to imagine he looks at the scoreboard and says, you know what, things are going a little bit better this time around.
That's why Andy McPhail said 3 months ago, I'm not doing that again. Every time I name him manager, they come out and have the worst game I've ever seen. So I'm just going to leave it till the final weekend, which is just what he did. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that'll be taken up high. Brian thought about it. 1-ball, 2-strike count.
And Brandon League's wondering, what do you have to do to get us to call third strike? A little split-fingered fastball that looked like it hit the outside corner. Maybe not.
Nope, hooked away. 1-2, infield stays in. Fiorentino off third base. 1-2 delivered to Roberts. Swung on and missed. Brian wanted that RBI and is not going to get it. League will get the strikeout. 2 down.
Yeah, great split-fingered fastball that just dives. You get it head. Tried to do it. 0-2. Watch this ball go down and away. Perfect 2-strike pitch. And Brian doesn't like it.
So Izturis will try again. Infield now can back up with 2 down. Izturis a double, RBI, a single. 2 for 4 in the ball game. 2 away, and the inside corner strike. He has faced League only once, 1 for 1. Jansen worked an inning, gave up a hit, had a strikeout. Accardo run on 2 hits over 2. Scott Richmond 5 runs, 7 hits over 4. The starter. 0-1 delivery launched in the air to right field. Bautista started back. He'll come in, put it away. So the Jays have just 3 outs to work with. We go to the 9th inning. The Orioles will try and make it 2 in a row. Safe situation. Jim Johnson. Palmer and Theo Harris on the score this evening. Inter Harbor sitting quietly. 6-3 lead. The O's 3 outs away from making it 2 in a row. And Jim Johnson, a save situation, is on for the Orioles.
Well, saved his last game, and he wasn't really too. I mean, he's happy he saved it, but he wasn't happy the way he saved it. Giving up the 1 run and 3 hits. So this is the, if there is an easy thing, the less difficult of saving, 3-run cushion. And then, of course, they will try to get some guys on to bring the tying run to the plate, or the go-ahead run, whatever it may be.
John McDonald batting 8th, leads it off. Snyder then top of the order. Bautista due up and a strike taken. McDonald is 0 for 3 in the ball game after a 3 for 4 in last night's game. Jim Johnson 7 for 10 in saves after the departure of George Sherrill. 3 out of the last 6 he has been able to convert. And we'll try and put this one away a little quicker. That is a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes on McDonald.
Well, Jim Hunter interviewed him before the game, and Jim made a great point. He said, as a former starter, do you feel like maybe you have to take one of those pitches out of the equation? Because his changeup has been a second pitch. There's a good breaking ball.
Yeah. Third, Ty Wigginton on the charge. Running throw is going to get away. And hits McDonald in foul territory.
Well, this is what Jim Johnson talked about, was that even when he makes good pitches, and this is about as good a curveball as you can throw, it's going to be a tough play. So Wigginton's got to hurry, and I think Aubrey's going to try to catch it coming off the bag and just keep the right here. There's your Exmo right there. Tough play. You're throwing across your body, tough angle. Throw a little bit off the line.
It'll be a base hit. The first hit of the ball game for McDonald. Gets that potential tying run to the on deck circle. Here's Snyder. He has doubled, singled, and an RBI and a sacrifice fly. He will take the pitch for a strike. Yeah. So 1 on, nobody out, 9th inning.
And they're going to hold the runner on with a 3-run lead, which is a little unusual. Usually your first baseman would be off the bag or behind him, try to take that hole away.
0-1 delivery on the way to Snyder, swung on and missed with a helicopter finish and an 0-2 count.
Well, the balls he hit off Hendrickson are all on the inside part of the plate. Well, Jim Johnson just runs that 2-seamer down and away at 94. Boy, if you're looking inside middle, no way to hit that pitch.
0-2 count. McDonald off first base, ground ball towards short as Torres is playing the other way. Roberts 1, and that's it. But what a fine play. As Torres was going hard towards the third baseline and was on the outfield grass and got the throw to Brian Roberts to get a force out.
Yeah, Brian makes a nice play because with a 3-run lead, you know, because it's a lefty, once you come out of the box, you're not going to get 2. You better get 1. And right there, Brian's got to reach for it. And so again, the quick transfer, had plenty of time to set his feet. Does it, but still makes a decent throw.
There's 1. Top of the order, Bautista 0 for 3 and a walk in the game. Orioles up by 3, 1 away, 9th inning. Save opportunity here for Johnson. Mark Hendrickson, the starter for the Orioles, could be the winner. Scott Richmond, starting pitcher for the Jays, would be the loser if the score stays sided to the O's.
Well, let's see if Bautista will take a pitch here at 2-0. Tito puts the take on.
And that's going to be a balk.
Yeah.
It's going to take the double play opportunity away.
I hope he didn't hurt himself.
Snyder goes down to second.
And that foot just comes over the pitching rubber. You try to get the spikes in front of the rubbers, even though some people will have some on the front and then on top. I thought that's what Sandy Koufax used to talk about from the windup, but that foot just slid right over the top of the rubber, caused the balk.
And a 2-0 count. Came back and got the strike. 2-1. Bautista, and they've got Hill, Encarnacion following in this lineup.
Well, not about as good a sinker as you can throw.
And coming back after he stumbled. Runner off second base, one away. 2-1. 3-ball, 1 strikeout on Bautista. Johnson's got 2 saves against the Jays this year. He has worked 6 games, 7 innings, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits against Toronto on the season. 3-1 delivery, got it in center field. Fiorentino. Runner will tag and stay, and there are 2 down. Let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. Right now on top, Mark Hendrickson, who stands to be the winner in this ball game. You can cast your vote A, B, or C at 518-62, and the results coming up on the O's Extra post-game show. 2 down, 9th inning. Hendrickson would go 6-5. Richmond 8-11 if he takes the loss. And for Jim Johnson, a couple of saves in a row. He can get the final out here as the Oriole fans are on their feet.
Well, a lot at stake. Hendrickson, the 5-game losing scheme. That'll be off the boards. Orioles don't lose 100. That's huge.
Johnson's after his 10th save. No easy out here. Aaron Hill. Hill has gone 1 for 4, a single and an RBI in the ball game.
Yeah, but this is as well as Jim Johnson has thrown the ball maybe all year. Just seems more confident tonight, freer. Ball sinking. That curveball certainly could have been called a strike.
A little confidence from the last one, maybe.
Yep.
If it was a tough one to get.
Well, they got it. That's all that matters.
Hill is 1 for 5 off him. Will ground that to first base. Aubrey's got it. Johnson covers. This one's in the book for the O's. There'll be no 100 loss season. The Orioles make it 2 in a row, coming away with a 6-3 win and a well-earned victory for the Orioles starter Mark Hendrickson, who pitched a very strong 6 1/3, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits, and Jim Johnson